This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Memories of the Past. John M. Washington. I was born in Fredericksburg, Virginia, May 20th, 1838, a slave to one Thomas P. Ware, Sr., who I never had the pleasure of knowing. I suppose it might have been a doubtful pleasure, as he died before I was born. When I was about 2 years of age, my mother, who was also a slave, was hired to one Richard L. Brown in Orange County, Virginia, about 37 miles from Fredericksburg, and I was taken along with her. But I will not promise to narrate the incidents of that journey, as I did not keep a diary at that age in a slave state. My recollections of my early childhood has been no doubt the most pleasant of my life. My mother taught me to spell at a very early age, between 4 years and 8. When at this time of life I look back to that time and all its most vivid recollections, I see myself a small light-haired boy, very often passing easily for a white boy, playing mostly with the white children on the farm, in summer evening among the sweet-scented clover fields after the butterflies, wading the brooks and with pin, hook, and line startling the spring trout. Now in the great forest surrounded with dogs in quest of the hare and opossum, often on the top of some neighboring mountain trying with my young eyes to get a view of Fredericksburg in the distant about 37 miles eastward. The view from all points was splendid, the westward view, north, and northwest a few miles distant was the Blue Ridge Mountains. But still nearer was the Rapidan River, 3 miles distant, the nearest ford being Willis Mills, where I used to stand and wonder at the river dammed over, and the great old moss-covered wheel slowly revolving and throwing the water off in beautiful showers. And Orange Courthouse, where I was carried once behind the family carriage, along with the white children, to see a circus. And in the great crowd during a violent thunderstorm I was lost, and the carriage arrived at home without me, and Mother and all thought I had fallen asleep in my seat behind the carriage and been washed off in the mountain run, which was very high, and had to be forded by the horses. I wandered about the street at the courthouse, there was but one street, until dark, and I had began to cry and wonder where I should sleep, for I did not know anyone in the village and could not think what I should do, and the crowds of country people were leaving the place very rapidly. When all at once my godmother found me and soon had me safely packed away among a lot of comforts and counterpanes in an old lumbering ox cart going to the next farm to my home, where I arrived safe at about sunrise next morning, amidst great rejoicing. A man was just getting ready to come and look for me. I was never allowed to go to another circus at Orange Courthouse. Once a month there used to meetings held for divine services, on the 4th Sundays, I think, at Mount Pisgah Meeting House, situated on the east end of the farm where 2 roads intersected. I know they were Baptists because they used to baptize in the creek close by. To these meetings Mother hardly ever failed to attend and take me with her. The church, a large frame building with galleries around for colored people to sit in. Tall pine trees surrounded the building, and the horses and mules used to be fastened during the services. Cakes, candy, and fruits used to be sold there under those great pine trees on Sundays, which to my eyes was always a great treat. I loved very much to go to the meeting house, as it was called then, because I never failed to come home with a load of cakes, candy, and etc. These are my first recollections of attending a church, and today, in my 35th year, the memory is bright as events of today. Minute events of my recollection will not likely interest you, so I must pass on with a glance at some of the most important events. Very early in my infancy, Mother taught me that memorable little child's prayer not yet forgotten. Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. and then the Lord's Prayer when I got older. The usual routine of farm work went on for a long time, it seemed to me.